Production value by Ashley Hoskins. Scene description. For sequence 3, I picked scene 13. That is actually the scene that I was gonna direct on set. This scene is interior house night. So this scene starts with Karen, that is one character that is introduced for the first time in the scene before this one. And when it's introduced before this scene, she's introduced as a kind of like a rich kid, stupid, that doesn't is not scared about ghosts. The other way around, she actually got a light ghost, and she decided to buy this house, and she was really looking forward to moving in. So in this scene, we see Karen sitting in front of the fire, and she's eating a bowl of soup, right, while she's watching the TV. So she's normally and just eating her bowl of soup. While in the meantime, Benjamin, on the scene before, he talked to David, and they both agreed that the next night it was the first night that they were gonna scare, but really really scare Karen so she can run away, because they were kind of scared and insecure about this person in specific, because she was the first person that wasn't scared with the fact that there was a ghost living in the house. So again, so we have Karen sitting in front of the fire eating her bowl of soup. While she's eating the bowl of soup, we listen to Benjamin trying to make himself known. He says, "Here I came, here I come," and we see a lot of things flying around the house in her back. She doesn't care about the voices, the noises, or the stuff that is flying around the house, and keeps eating her soup. Then Benjamin starts to get upset, and he starts to throw stuff instead of just making them fly. He start actually to throw them around. He start to make a lot of noises. He start to try to really 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 scare Karen, and Karen, she doesn't care. She keeps eating her bowl of soup. So it gets to a point that for the first time, Benjamin decides to appear in person and show himself to one of the person that is living in the house. This is the first time that it's gonna happen, and he do it because he feels an impotence, a really strong impotence. So he goes and show himself in front of Karen, and he's like, "Why are you not getting scared? Here I am. I'm a ghost." And Karen just look at him, open her book, says one word the book that is written down in the book, and Benjamin gets stuck on the book. She closed the book, she opens her phone, and she calls a number. When she calls the number, she says, "The job is done, and I'm taking the house." So basically, in this scene is when the truth was revealed, and we see that Karen is not a stupid rich girl. Is actually on the other way around. Is a really intelligent woman that is a detective, and it was hired in order to trap Benjamin and get what David deserves. The essence. So the essence of this scene starts with the anger. So the anger is developed in the scene before, when for the first time, as I mentioned before, Karen was not scared with the fact that Benjamin was living in the house. So the anger is what makes Benjamin wanted to scare her so bad. Especially the first night, when normally he will scare the persons a week after they move in, right? So the anger is what is driving Benjamin to scare her with the most that he has, right? Then the realization. When Benjamin sees that Karen is not getting scared, he starts getting scared himself, because he starts realizing that maybe something is wrong, maybe something is out of place. Like, it's not possible that a person is not caring about what's happening around her. Then the truth is revealed. So in this scene, the whole story kind of like is is when the revelation happens, right? So until this point, we were listening to the plan between David and Benjamin, and we were saying how David was really successful by lying to people, and this is the time that the truth is revealed, and like when Karen comes and kind of like change that story and give what David deserves. And there you go, justice. So this scene is based on justice, is kind of like showing the person's what is going to happen to David, because of what he was doing to people, and that he just cannot lie to a lot of persons and get what he wants. And the plan was run. So in this moment, David and Benjamin, they got a deal of the person were only gonna live there a week, and then Benjamin was gonna scare them, and then David was gonna come in and sell the house again. In this moment, the plan is completely run. Karen grabbed Benjamin, so Benjamin is gone of the house, so she decides to keep the house for herself. David doesn't have a house to sell anymore, and another plan that they had was run. Breaking down Karen. So we have two Karens. I'm gonna break her heart. I'm gonna break her down, the real one and the fake one. The fake one is the one that we see before this scene, and it's important to know that she's fake and like her characteristics, so we understand how Benjamin and David didn't know that she was gonna do something like this before, right? So this is the real her. This is the real Karen, the one that we can see in this scene in specific. So the real Karen, she's 28 years old. She's really confident. She's really, really, really intelligent. She knows a lot about books, about the past, about spirits. She's bilingual. She can speak a lot of languages. She's a detective, so she's really good, like following people, finding clues. She's really smart. She's really good at her job. The person that hired her because she was the best on the field. She was confident since the second that she arrived, because this was an easy case for her, because she noticed in one of the scenes before, we kind of like know that somebody's watching, so she noticed what David was doing, and that's why she decided to kind of like come in as looking as a new client and then changing the whole story around. And then she's really serious. She's a serious person. She's serious about what she does, and she will not joke around. And then we have the fake or false Karen, right? She's still 28 years old. She's still confident, but she's stupid. She's kind of a young teenager that had her life given to her. She's rich. She tried to appear like she's rich, and she like loves everything, and she wants everything, and she like doesn't know what she's doing. And she like appears that she loves mystery, because when she's talking to Dave in the scene before, when she decided to buy the house, she's like, oh yeah, I love mystery, I love ghost. And so that's like her way to kind of say, okay, you know what, I really like this house, and make David to be scared in a way, right? Breaking down Benjamin. I did this breakdown in the presentation before this one, but I'm still gonna show it right here, just because Benjamin is also in this scene, and it's really important to know her characteristics as a character, so then we can like see her character development in this scene. So he's 30. So I'm gonna just read them down, right? So he's 38 years old. He's an angry person. He's really protective of what he has. He's really protective about his house and what surrounds him. He doesn't trust anyone, because a lot of his own son killed him. So his way of trusting, he really don't want to trust anybody. Then he only cares about himself and his house. he has that trauma that I mentioned before, that his kid killed him. Then he's really lonely because he's trapped in that house by himself. And then he's really confident because he knows that he's a ghost, and he knows that everyone is scared of him. Mise en scene. So for the mise en scene in this scene in specific, we're gonna start with the props. So the props that we have are really simple. We need a book, a leather book for being more specific, because you need to look old. We need a bowl of soup, so Karen can eat while all the activity is going on behind her. Then we need chairs and candlesticks, so they can be thrown around. And then we need a blanket so Karen can cover herself, because this whole story is based on winter time. Then for makeup, because this scene takes place on the night, and it's a night before going to sleep, right when you watch a TV. For Karen, we want natural makeup and natural hair, so she can be like just relaxed, laying down, watching TV, and eating her dinner. And for Benjamin, because this is the second time that we see Benjamin in person, but this time we see him really, really, really upset and impotent. So I want to put black eye and have him with wrinkles, so he can look like he doesn't sleep a lot, and he can look also like he's really upset and he was like thinking too much about what's happening right now. Then costumes for Karen, we are gonna have her in pajama pants, and then with a pajama robe. Um, and for Benjamin, it's gonna be a white robe, classic of a lot of ghost movies, and I think that is also goes really good with Benjamin. And it's also gonna help a lot with lighting. We type of kind of like wanna create this ghost type of thing with green lights, and like then in editing making him more like a spirit that is floating. So I think the white robe is gonna help a lot in that sense. So then the blocking. For the blocking, we're gonna have Karen sitting on a sofa in front of the fireplace. The camera is gonna be in a kind of like a middle shot in front of her still. The camera is gonna stay still all the time. And while we see her acting, her reactions of just flat reactions, completely not listening of what's going on, we're gonna see behind her, we're gonna see the lamps and stuff being thrown. So in this way, we can have the contrast of there's a lot of calls behind her, but she's just relaxed. And then for the lighting, it's gonna be fire lighting, kind of candle lighting. It's gonna be orangey, low lighting, low lights, so we can see the house coachy and also kind of scary, because we are gonna see all the back of the house black. And then for the ghost, as I mentioned before, I want him to have his own green light. So in that way, when he appears from black, we're gonna start seeing like kind of like green white going down with him. Location. So for the location, as I mentioned before in the previous presentation, is gonna be a Jim Hutton house, a parent's house. It's a brand new house, so there's nothing inside. There is a fireplace, and there is a few stuff like chairs, and we will bring the rest of props and stuff that we wanted with the house. And this is really helpful because we have a lot of space to film. And of course, like as you can see in this house looks so bright and pretty, but we kind of like want to make it look inside more scary, and then through the editing make it outside look darker. Working with my actors. So my actors are Daniela Galvan, that is gonna play as Karen, and Jim Hutton, that is gonna play as Benjamin. So for working with my actors, what I like to do, especially I like Daniela Galvan, because she has been my actor for a few for a few movies before this one, so we already have kind of like a way, and I already know her as an actress, so I know what she needs and like how she works in general. So the first thing that I like to do is really analyzing the script. I think that that's like really important, so we all can kind of like know what the scene is there for, what happened before, and and the mise en scene. We can know a little bit of everything, right? Then talking about the essence of the scene in specific. After we analyze the script in general, then we are gonna talk about the scene in specific, why this scene is there, and what is gonna happen in that scene in specific. I like to ask them, to talk to them and be like, so what do you think in the from this scene? What do you think that the audience gonna get out from emotions, or what type of emotion do you think that are going on in this scene, and blah blah. Then, hearing the analysis of the characters, I think I'm gonna go through with this by talking to them separately, and then talking to them together. First separately to know what they think about their own character. Kind of, I want to ask Daniela, what does she think about Karen? Who does Karen really is? Who is Karen pretending to be? And so on. And the same thing with Jim. I wanted to talk to him about Benjamin, about why he's getting angry, about why he's feeling impotent, because I feel like those are the main feelings that Benjamin is feeling in that specific scene, and that is the first moment that we actually see Benjamin kind of scared for the first time. We see him not we see him that he's not confident anymore, and that he's scared of a person, right? So I want them to analyze and get that from them. Then I want to talk to them about the character development of the scene. How do they start the scene, and how do they end the scene, and what type of thoughts are in their head while on the head of the characters, of course, while this scene is going on, and why are they feeling those feelings. Then I want to go through the basic blocking. So in that way, Danielle understands why, like, how Karen is, kind of, because of course if I explain her like that Karen is gonna be sitting in a spot just looking, watching TV, and eating her soup while a lot of things are going on behind her, and she's not gonna care, she's gonna get a lot out of that. So she's gonna know that Karen is not scared about ghosts, that Karen is confident, she can take a lot out of just the blocking. The same thing for Benjamin, for Jim. Then I'm gonna help them going mentally to the moment of the scene, so we can, when we rehearse, they can both take it 100% seriously. They can like, after we all discuss about the essence, discuss about the character development, about the script, about everything. In that moment, I want them to feel what we talked about, so then they can like play around with that, and of course maybe I can get a lot out of them, a lot of out of how they play these two characters. Character development and relationship. So for Benjamin, I'm gonna start with the character development. When he starts this scene, he starts confident. He knows what he's doing because he's used to scaring people, right? So he knows that he already planned it out. That he's gonna start to move things around her. That he's gonna start talking to her, making noises, and he's really confident that this is gonna work. So he laughs about Karen he sees her moving in, so happy, and just like seeing her sitting there watching TV. He's like super confident about that he's gonna scare the hell out of her, right? But then, after Karen not reacting at all about what Benjamin is doing, he start feeling that a incompetent feeling, and he starts like getting angry, throwing more stuff, until a point that he gets scared because he doesn't understand why she's not getting scared. And when you don't understand something, you normally get scared about that. So he ends up this scene completely different with a whole new change. And one thing that I want you to understand is that until this moment, the whole script, we always see Benjamin with the same characteristics. In some scenes, we may see him like kind of like faking a little bit to get David to like him a little bit, just to be like a kind of friendly type of thing. But in this moment, we actually see him scared, and we actually see how he feels like he cannot do anything. And then with Karen, in the other hand, what is like the huge development and change is from this scene and the scene before that. The scene before, we see her all stupid, all like joking around, all happy, all like laughing. And in this scene, we see her focus on her business, just like watching TV and eating her soup, 100% confident, like she doesn't care about what's going on around her. She's ignoring Benjamin at all. She's not scared. And at the end of the scene, of course, she's happy because she takes the house for herself, and the house is big, and it was super super cheap. So kind of like throughout this scene, there's no development. Her all feelings are gonna stay the same, and that's kind of like important because we wanna see her 100% flat all the time, while Benjamin is changing, and we see Benjamin changing. So in that way, we can create kind of like the fight between both characters. But if you compare the Karen from this scene from the Karen of the scene before, then is when we see her completely different. And now the relationship. So Benjamin hates Karen, hates her so much, and he's scared about her, and that's why he hates her, because Karen is not caring about him, is not getting scared, is not doing any emotion. It's like she's ignoring him 100%. So he doesn't know what to do, and he's like feeling incompetent. So that's why he hates her so much, and especially because at the end of the scene, Karen trapped him in a book. So kind of like literally takes the house out of him. And Karen, in the other hand, she's not scared of Benjamin at all, and she considers him a joke. She considers that this job is too easy, and the good thing is that she's getting a house out of it. But she thinks that Benjamin just trying too hard is funny, and she knows that Benjamin cannot attack her. Rehearsal. So this is the rehearsal video that I had with Daniela Galvan, especially from this scene. That's why I decided to put it in the presentation. The other actor is Jack Carroll. He's playing David, but for this scene he helped us playing Benjamin, just because Jim Hudon couldn't make it that day. So we're gonna see Daniela Galvan playing Karen for the scene 13, and Jack Carroll playing Benjamin. So I'm gonna play this scene.
Daniela, how do you feel with Karen?
I feel like she's a strong character. I mean, I really like the part where she like casts a spell out or something. I think that's like the most important part. But it's a little like hard to do. Just stay serious.
Yeah,
and as far like when the ghost comes and she's just like, oh yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I understand.
But I do like her a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
she has like a strong personality, so I do like that.
So let's think about, where does Karen come from, right? Like, why is she in that house?
Why she's in the house?
Yeah, do you know?
Well, I mean, she's trying to like get this like guy who's like hurting people just trying to sell a house and everything. So she's just there to, or like, I don't know how to say it, but like discover that
yeah.
he's cheating like to people and stuff like
Exactly.
that. So I mean, her character is really important because she's like doing basically all the job. But I do like that she has like two personalities. I mean, one of them is like just like a portrait of something that she's not.
Yeah.
But I do like that a lot.
Mhm.
So she's just there too. Yeah.
Yeah. So Karen, like you say, right? She come to like get the bad guy to his place, right?
Mhm.
So you basically were hired, right? You were hired by one of the client, one of the people that the realtor sell the house to, right?
Mhm.
You were hired you were hired, and since that moment you have been looking to the house.
Mhm.
You have been looking what's the relationship between Benjamin and David, that is a realtor. You have been like looking all the time, right? And when you appear, as you say, you have like this fake personality that is not actually you. And I think this moment is where we can actually see who you are, right? And of course, like, he's a ghost, right? Let's accept that. He's scary. I know that he maybe doesn't look that scary, but he is scary.
Yeah.
Right? But you're not scared just because you already know
What's the deal? Yeah.
exactly. You already know that Benjamin's not gonna do shit to you. You know, you already know that he's a good guy, to say it like that, right? So that's why he's like appearing in front of you, like, I'm gonna kill you, and you're like, I don't give a fuck, I'm not in the book, right?
Right.
So like, I think like that's Karen, and I think that you have a really like good view of who Karen is. Especially, I really like how like serious you are in front of everything. Like, he's gonna do like stuff in front of you and things like that may be funny, and I like how like you stay serious all the time.
Thank you.
And I really like that because it's like you show how empowering you are. I really like that. Well, and comments for future, just like imagine, like, remember where do you come from, right? Remember that this is your job. This is a job that you need to have done. And like, at the end, what's the last sentence that you say?
That I'm keeping the house. Yeah.
So like, let's be honest, like, this is a mansion. Supposedly you're sitting in a mansion, right? So you get keeping the house plus getting paid for your job, right? It's like, wow, like, you know, like, you're like, this is my job is done. I have this house. You know, I want to see that.
Okay.
For you, good job. How do you feel with Benjamin?
I feel good. I feel like he's a very intimidating character. But you know, there's some comedic value which is entertaining. So yeah, I feel like he's a good character.
Okay. Perfect. So a little bit of backstory. This is like Benjamin, right? How many times have you done this before? Like, have you scared somebody?
Very rarely.
That was before, right? But then you meet David.
Oh, okay.
And you start
yes.
scaring like a lot of people. You have scared like a lot of people. So you're used to it. But what happened with Karen is that she actually was enthusiastic about living in a house with a ghost, right? Like the scene before, she was like, yes, I'm living, this is so amazing, like the house has a ghost, wow. She was so happy, so you got scared. Like, for the first time, like, you being the ghost got scared because it's like, I don't want anybody living in my house. And then this girl likes me living with her in the house. No, you know what I mean? So this is like the night that you tried your best. Like, you're like, I need to scare her. You never show yourself with any client. And this is the first person you're gonna show yourself, right? So like, try to like think about that when you're talking. Think about like how like you want to scare her, right? Like, you actually want like do something that you don't know what, like, so you want to do something, you know? Okay, so let's do it again.
So she can see it. She can see him, right?
At the end, yeah. So like, when you say I want to kill you is when she can see you, or when you appear. Like, before you try to move stuff around her and stuff is moving around you. I know that things are not going on right now, but
Yeah, that's okay.
things are like gonna be like bistro, right? And you're like, you don't care, you're just watching your TV,
Right.
and because of that is because that's like the moment that he showed himself, because he's like, you know.
Okay.
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 Okay. See you. Action.
I'm coming to get you, Karen. I am here to kill you!
Lubię krew, nie machniew, a kov, si, niu, prati. Yes, sir? I just deal with the problem. That guy isn't going to lie anymore. I will accept the payment in cash if that's okay, and I am keeping the house as well.
And cut.
Mm.
So that was our rehearsal for scene 13. It was the first time that I talked to the actors. On the case of Jack Carroll, of course, this wasn't his character, so that's why like his personality in general and the way that he acts doesn't go with this character in specific. But I think that Daniela got a lot of understanding of who Karen was and that she gave a lot to the character, and I really like that. Of course, because of the blocking and the places, and because the matter of fact that it was a cereal instead of a soup, she kind of like got out of character a little bit. But I think that she understood a lot who Karen is after this rehearsal. It was production notes. So the production notes are first prepare team to be throwing stuff. There must be people around the camera, not in the, of course, not in the shot, but just in the border of the shot, so they can be like throwing stuff around and also grabbing the stuff so the stuff falling to the floor doesn't make noises. And also when the stuff actually start falling to the floor, they also kind of like make noises with their feet and kind of like help to create that sound on set. Of course, in post production, we're also gonna add more sound to make it look more natural, right? But I would like to also create that sound on set. Then follow the editor indications, because a lot of editing things happen as the ghost is gonna appear for the first time and he needs to look like a spirit, like kind of be floating. We need to talk with the editor and follow his indications all the time of how to film that, how it's gonna be the blocking, how the blocking is gonna work. Also, when Karen opens the book and the ghost gets inside the book and close it, also how to like do the blocking for that. So then for the editing, it's easier for him to put that together and put the effects on. Then we need to have an orange light filter prepared for the fire lighting for this scene, and also a green one for the ghost lighting. Then this is gonna be the a long day, and this is the last scene, and it's also kind of like a scene that requires a lot of people to be throwing stuff and be holding the lights and like helping putting something in front of the lights so the lights look like fire. So that's why I want to keep this in mind. So we have coffee and we have chocolate, so everybody can like be under 100%. Then of have extra camera batteries, because at this point the camera most probably would not have more battery. And then have extension cords, because the cords are far from where the lights are gonna be located at. And well, that's it for the production value. Thank you so much, and I hope you like the presentation.